In the physical world, things grind against each other. Gears lock, doors need pushing, and progress requires energy. Yet for the last decade, we have judged our digital world by the exact opposite standard: how smoothly and invisibly we can move through it. Walk into a typical bank branch in India, and you will hit a wall of this physical resistance. You wait in a queue, you sign your name in multiple ledgers, you hand over stacks of paper for a clerk to manually verify against your face. Compared to the modern digital standard, where a biometric scan opens an account and a single click moves thousands of dollars, these physical hurdles feel like a massive operational failure. But a close look at institutional resilience reveals something counterintuitive. Those cues and repetitive signatures are not necessarily broken processes. In many cases, they act as a highly effective structural defense mechanism. We have spent years building incredibly precise tools to measure the cost of slowing a user down. But along the way, we lost the ability to value the structural functions those obstacles actually perform. The relentless pursuit of a perfectly frictionless experience strips away hidden barriers that keep organizations safe. For product designers and growth executives, any pause in the user journey is treated as a defect. The prevailing logic is simple. Resistance causes abandoned carts, churned users, and lost revenue. This mindset gained academic backing when legal scholar and behavioral economist Cass Sunstein introduced the concept of sludge. Sunstein defines sludge as the unnecessary rules and time-consuming paperwork that force users to bear high learning, compliance, and psychological costs just to navigate a system. Technology companies took this behavioral science framework and applied it absolutely. If sludge was bad, then every single click, form field, and confirmation screen was treated as sludge that had to be smoothed over. Achieving a zero-friction environment became the ultimate performance indicator for modern tech and financial platforms. Speed was synonymous with customer centricity. By aggressively categorizing all resistance as an unjustified burden, businesses began treating every obstacle in their system as a target for elimination. The root of this behavior lies in how organizations evaluate success. Historian Jerry Z. Muller calls this metric fixation, the irresistible pressure to replace complex judgment with standardized, easily measurable data points. The costs of friction are highly visible. A product manager can pull up a dashboard and see exactly how many users abandoned an onboarding screen because a password requirement was too complex. The benefits of friction, however, manifest as invisible non-events. A dashboard cannot easily measure the fraud that was prevented, or the reckless financial decision a user avoided because a pop-up forced them to pause. This creates a severe measurement asymmetry. When teams remove a verification step, conversion rates immediately go up. Beneath the surface, unmeasured systemic risk expands proportionally, triggering no alarms. Because leadership rewards visible metrics, product teams continually strip away friction. Another barrier is predictably removed. This is a textbook example of Goodhart's law. When a specific metric, like onboarding speed, becomes a strict target, people optimize for the number itself, decoupling the measure from the underlying business health. Firms do not actually eliminate friction. They merely optimize for what they can easily count, systematically destroying protective barriers in the blind spot of their own dashboards. When we shift our perspective from customer experience directly to security engineering, the danger of this optimization becomes entirely obvious. As security expert Ross Anderson points out, you have to design for an adversarial reality. In a closed system, a frictionless design is safe, but in an open, distributed system on the internet, bad actors actively weaponize speed. We can see this dynamic clearly in the recent regulatory failure of Paytm Payments Bank. Paytm pursued a hyper-aggressive growth strategy by stripping away user friction. They effortlessly captured over 330 million digital wallet accounts, dominating the mobile payment market in India. But in early 2024, the Reserve Bank of India ordered the bank to halt new deposits. The regulatory clampdown erased $2 billion in investor wealth almost overnight. The root cause was persistent non-compliance. Paytm's frictionless onboarding completely bypassed vital Know Your Customer checks. They had successfully created a seamless funnel, which resulted in hundreds of thousands of unverified accounts. When security friction is removed from an open system, a seamless funnel acts as an open door. It allows automated adversaries to scale their attacks and bypass the system alongside legitimate users. Optimizing entirely for a frictionless conversion metric grew Paytm's user base at an unprecedented rate, but that same lack of friction destroyed the institution's regulatory integrity. To understand why this happens, we have to look at Donella Meadows' framework for systems theory. Meadows warned against a structural trap called sub-optimization. This occurs when a specific team perfectly optimizes their subsystem, like achieving a one-click experience, at the fatal expense of total system security and compliance. In complex systems, friction acts as a vital balancing feedback loop. It regulates the pace of activity, preventing a reinforcing loop of rapid growth from spinning out of control. When you sever that balancing loop to increase velocity, the system enters a runaway, chaotic state. Sociologist Charles Perrow identified that when systems become tightly coupled, meaning processes happen incredibly fast and cannot be isolated, they lose their margin for error. In a tightly coupled environment with no resistance, a single error or bad actor cannot be contained. The disturbance cascades into an unstoppable chain reaction. Major platforms are now desperately reintroducing friction to counter this. Twitter added prompts asking users to read an article before retweeting it, and gambling sites enforce mandatory self-exclusion periods. They are injecting resistance to create operational slack. Without the vital slack that friction provides, localized anomalies spread instantly into systemic catastrophes. We have to return to Cass Sunstein's original thesis and clarify a crucial nuance. He defines sludge explicitly as excessive or unjustified friction. He left room for the fact that some burdens are necessary. Patagar's research offers a new taxonomy. Plotting task value against desirability separates harmful sludge from structural necessity. Frustrating friction maps to the low-value quadrant, the endless paperwork businesses must eliminate. But high-value quadrants contain constructive and defensive friction. These are productive obstacles. Constructive friction forces a user to expend effort in a way that actually benefits them. It mandates cognitive engagement, slows down pacing, and ensures considered decision-making in high-stakes environments. The goal for executive management is no longer the blind elimination of all effort. The new objective is the strategic allocation of optimal friction. If we apply this systems theory framework to the physical hurdles of the Indian bank branch, the environment looks very different. The queues and signatures are not operational bugs. They act as costly signaling and adversarial filters. They require a baseline level of human effort that effectively weeds out automated fraud, protecting the integrity of a high-trust system. The future of systems design relies on conditional, adaptive friction. Instead of a universally smooth pipeline, networks will apply resistance dynamically, triggering constructive obstacles based on real-time risk models. This shift forces product and security teams to answer a much more difficult governance question. Who experiences friction? Under whose judgment? And according to what criteria? We have to stop asking how to eliminate friction. We must start asking what vital, invisible function will break if we remove it.